All right, went a little out of order here. It looks like number 7 was actually a little bit lower. This is going to be rounded to 51%, but it's 50.8. So let's go to number 7. Take a look there. Number 7. This is 51%. 2 neighboring cities are growing at the exact same rate. The first city, however, has a smaller population than the second city. The graph illustrates the population growth of the first city. Oh, wait, there was something very important I just read. What was it that I read that was very important? 2 things.
Exact same rate.
They're growing at the exact same rate. So that means the R are the same. R1 equals R2, meaning first city equals the second city in growth rate. The first city, however, has a smaller population than the second city. Okay, population, I'm going to use letter P. P1 is smaller than P2, if that makes sense. Population of the first city is smaller than P2. The graph illustrates the first city. I'll call this F1 right there. Here it is. If the second city's initial population was twice as great as the first city's. Okay, so that's just saying P2 was means equals. So second city's population, P2, equals twice as great. What does twice as great mean? 2 times. 2 times P1. That's the formula. P2 equals 2 times P1. Which graph represents the population of the second city? All right, so let's look up here. What is the population of the first city? 150. That's P1. I don't know. Yeah, you'd be correct. It's technically 150,000. So what is P2 going to equal?
300.
Yeah, graphically it'll represent 300. So we need to start at 300. Which ones can we eliminate?
C.
B is out. That does not start at 300.
C and D.
C is out, yeah. D starts at like 300. Okay, they're supposed to grow at the same rate. Which one do you think the answer is? A. Okay, let's just make sure. I showed a lot of students this, but I might have shown you this, but if you wanted to walk this through, I'm going to type in F1 this time. 150 times 1.04 to the power of x. Missed the parenthesis. There we go. To the power of x. I'm going to change, if you go to this wrench up here, or the graph settings in the top right, if you hit this, I'm going to change my axes to look like these. You see how the x-axis goes from 0 to 20? I'm going to go to, so graph settings, I'm going to click on the x-axis and change this to a 0 and this one to a 20. I'm going 0 to 20. My y's go from 0 to, that stops at 500. What number would be right there? 600. I'm going to go 0 to 600. When I type that in, you see how similar the graphs look? Some of it is I need to be a little bit wider, but ultimately you see how the graphs look very similar. Now, the second city we just found out, I'm going to copy this. The second city, I guess I better change the color. Starts at 300. 2 times 150, so 300. So that's how its picture would look. You'd be looking like for a graph like that. Once you get your axes aligned, you could just match graphs, and you can see that this one is like A. See how similar those graphs are? So anyways, you could do it that way as well.